There is no good, there is no bad. There is right and wrong, but there is no good and bad. That's a construct of this reality. Let me try to explain as best I can. There are two universal laws. One is do no harm, and the second is never set anybody further back on their path. And if you try as best you can to live by those two universal laws, and you're connected to your higher self, then you have an internal constitution of right and wrong, just from a universal level. And then when we insert ourselves into this reality, it's not that we lose that. We actually probably, my guess, we probably put on different filters of right and wrong for that particular incarnation. And so in this reality, this 3D Earth reality, this really very high frequency, pretty low vibratory reality, we can get real mired down in this place. There's an awful lot to trip us. And what happened to me, that's the best way to describe it, is that over time I lost that connection, and the idea of right and wrong gets diluted along with sort of your spirit. Your light's getting diminished, and therefore your as I like to say, the foundation of your soul is integrity. So you lose integrity, just mind, body, and spirit. I mean, across the board, you lose that incredible integrity that you came here with. And that's not good or bad. This isn't a judgment. That's part of the game. That's part of what is here. I don't think there's many that go through skating through this place and absolutely come out the exact same way they were going in. Maybe there were, but my goodness. So anyway, there's a lot to get tripped up on here. Well, the reason for the idea of good and bad is because since it's a man-made construct, then it is a man-made control mechanism. So where now they can define either by law, or they can define through propaganda and training, distorting all kinds of things that really are right and wrong, and there are wrong things to do, and distorting that with good and bad, and then you can sort of nullify and water down the right from the wrong. And then again, it's used as a very heavy-handed control. If you think about where we are today, doesn't that sound very familiar? Everything in this reality is, this group is bad, this group is good, this country, this race, this religion. I mean, it's just, folks, it's divide and conquer as never been experienced probably ever in the history of man, because I don't think we've ever had civilizations this big. I mean, we have, but that have, they've turned up the heat on everything. So, but that is what it is. That's the theater, right? There's nothing we can do about that. It's what we do inside of that counts. So, we start thinking from this earthly perspective, and it's just a slippery slope. And I started thinking of something, real world example of maybe what made sense to me that could maybe help explain it. And I'm going to take the gay rights movement and the trans and every group. I'm going to go back to, there's 8 billion individual souls here that all are a unique aspect of this massive consciousness crystal with multifacets that make each and every one of us absolutely unique. Period. There's no dot on that. Each person is completely unique. So, do you think there's going to be absolute black and white with regards to sexuality and sensuality? Nope. There is not. Think of it, if we could, of 8 billion crystals lined up in a row, all each differently, and try to identify something that can group and divide. At that level, if we could all put ourselves in that perspective, think of the unity we would feel. Think of the camaraderie. We would be able to breathe at ease, at a low frequency, breathe at ease, by just being around one another and not having that as a barrier. If we just took that away, imagine how different this place would be. They don't want us thinking on that level at all. And this place, again, is you're a willing participant, so you are where you are, as I am where I am. I put myself there, nobody else did, so I'm not going to put that role of responsibility on anybody else. I've done all the things that everybody else has done, and maybe more, and I just don't breathe or exhaust anymore. I don't believe in it. So and that gets back to please turn off the TV. Completely turn it off. So anyway, if we think along this line of there's 8 billion individual souls, and let's just take their sensuality and sexuality, there's not one that's even close to another, let alone any ability to group, if that makes sense. As I've talked about before, try to think of anybody that's remotely close to you, if you're honest with yourself, that's remotely close to you in mind, body, and spirit. Thoughts, habits, likes, dislikes. There's nobody remotely close. So to get hung up on this idea that there's got to be all these different groups, there isn't a group. There's us as a unity consciousness, and then not. Now, if we could be in unity consciousness, there wouldn't be an us versus them, because there wouldn't be a them. There would just be us, and the them would go away. And maybe that's what's happening. And I hope that is what it is. But anyway, so it made me think about this continuum of human sensuality and sexuality. Now, is there right and wrong within that construct? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. To sexualize a 3-year-old is wrong. To propagandize to young ones, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, is wrong. To set agendas is wrong. If we were acting like our true selves and our true spirit, it would come naturally at the right time. And that's going to vary by, guess what? 8 billion. But I promise you it won't be at adolescent age. That's bright. That is wrong, because it doesn't happen anywhere else. So we got to remember, we are part of this earth along with all the other plants and animals. We're not separate. We just choose to be and try to be. But we've got to get back in our. That's really what this is moving back into, is honoring that full animal spirit that we are, which is amazing, by the way. Married with this amazing gift of consciousness, the soul, and then there's this awesome beingness that's out there taking advantage and participating in the game in such an amazing, powerful way. That's what this is all about. So anyway, it's not about right or wrong. It's not about good or bad. That has no definition. It's the akin to you are in but not of. Not being of this place. You're in it. Yes, you're in the theater of it. You're in sometimes the foreground when you don't want to be, and you're in the right up on the main stage, front and center with the microphone. So it's an amazing time to be here. And I truly believe that we're all here at this point in time, willing and able, ready, willing, and able to participate and be of aid as we go through this period of time, which is going to be pretty turbulent. And so it's going to take strong spirit, and it's going to take mindfulness. It's going to take dedication. And the more you can get quiet, the more you can please turn off the mainstream, get within yourself, love yourself first and foremost, because if you don't do that, then nothing else matters. So it's really absolute time to dig in, because time is short, and it's getting very, very shorter, and we can see it. So to bury your head in the sand isn't wise, and we need to be make sure that we're very wise in knowing where we are at this point in time. Peace and love to all. And as always, I, Asher, I.